You found a quiet corner of your mind, a shelf where all the broken things were piled. The stories told in whispers and in scars brought you here beneath these waiting stars. Not for a fix or just to soothe the ache, but for the chance that something new could break. So let the silence hold you like a seam where every thread of hope begins to gleam. This is the in-between. Welcome to the butterfly room, where healing's not an end, it is a tune. You learn to hum and gentle afternoons. Transformation blooms from a cocoon of questions. You'll be led to see the colors waiting in the thread. Welcome to the butterfly room. We'll hold the lens up to the hidden part, the dormant art that's beating in your heart. We'll map and change the subtle steady turn, the lessons that the aftermath can earn. Not to erase the lines that make your map, but to unfold the wings and cross the gap and watch the old shell fragile drift away, making space for the new light of day. In this alchemical space, welcome to the butterfly room, where healing's not an end, it is a tune. You learn to hum in gentler afternoons, transformation.
The Butterfly Room, and we've got an amazing show that's coming your way very shortly and everything like that. We've got Miss Toya in the house, and of course she's got amazing guests, including her good friend Dr. Diamond that's in the house as well, and everything like that. So we're looking forward to a great conversation with an amazing guest that she's lined up, and definitely doing a lot of healing, because this is a time when the world needs a lot of healing and all along those lines. So I'm gonna bring the hostess with the mostest into the room, see what she's got going on in her life and all along those lines. And like I said, we've got an amazing show here on this particular day and everything like that. I know we've got an amazing guest, and we've got some amazing things that are going to take place. So I'm going to step aside, let you do your thing. But I do know that Dr. Diamond is here, and of course your guest with the most, Marlon, is here as well. But we're looking forward to a great conversation and everything like that. But I'm gonna step aside and let folks know that it's all about the Butterfly Room and Miss Toya. So I'll be back to bring my insights and questions as well. But right now, I'm turning it over to you.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Butterfly Room. This is episode 10. And today we're going to meet this young gentleman. And when I say the village that he had was humongous, that it was able to pull him out so that he could be introduced to us. Now, I had the pleasure of meeting this young gentleman a year ago, but today he is here with the Butterfly Room to tell us about what he is doing as an author, producer, and founder member of On the Set. But before I do that, without further ado, I want to bring in Dr. Diamond. I see that she was able to be with us this evening. Bring her in, Mark.
Hello.
Surprise. I was unsure if you were able to come on in because we ended up pre-recording our show today. So
yeah, usually I'm doing the therapy session, but I was free. So yeah, I jumped on.
Well, thank you so much. It's a blessing to see you today. I know we have a busy weekend coming up.
Yes.
But always good, because I know this gentleman was on your show initially before I even opened this. And as I was talking to him in the back room, and I said, look how things happen. And we just gotta continue to do the journey. But just to let the Butterfly listeners know, before we do that, but how have you been before I get into introducing the guests of the evening?
Oh, I've been pretty good, pretty good. Last week we had, on the couch last Saturday, and we had such a great topic there. But, overall, I'm doing well. Looking forward to some warmer weather that's about to come up soon. And you're right, we do have a busy weekend coming up. I'm actually looking forward to the weekend to do something fun, working all week. And then, get to the weekend. I usually look forward to that. So, yeah, overall, like I said, I'm doing very well. And thank you for asking. And I'm looking forward to your show tonight.
Yes, thank you. And we had a pleasure, the topic that we have, and I'm looking forward to this part too. So, okay.
Yes.
So anyone listening, you need to come on the couch. So this is the week of the Butterfly Room. Check us out on Saturdays at 11 a.m. As
yes.
we said, and Mark, he has to tell us a little bit more about his dinner party, because he doesn't say much. So
the dinner party.
Say about that, because he said, he was on a hiatus, but Mark is always doing something. All right, so I'm going to get this thing going. We have our guest here, Marlon E. Curtis II, and he was introduced to me by a dear sister, a friend of mine, Rhonda. And when I say again, this book was phenomenal. When I picked it up, I read it. He was a guest on the couch, and now he's here to speak with us today. But 31 reasons why you should bet on yourself. And sometimes it doesn't show, but look at this nice book. So we have Marlon E. Curtis. He is a father. He had, and according to his about the book, he said he shares his personal journey through setbacks to success, weaving in the timeless wisdom of the universe's laws and the hard lessons learned along the way. Inspired by the unwavering support of his grandparents, 4 angels, and this book that he's going to talk about today, as well as his other venture, serves as a tribute to their legacy and a roadmap for anyone looking to rise above life's challenges. Without further ado, let us welcome Marlon E. Curtis II to the Butterfly Room.
Peace, y'all. Peace and love.
How you doing?
How y'all doing, Dr. Diamond? What's going on? How y'all doing?
Great. Thank you so much for meeting us with us today, because guess what? Someone had a birthday this week. You want to tell the listeners about the blessing of life that you just witnessed?
Yes, the day that I was born 32 years ago just passed recently. April 7th on Tuesday. We had Thursday right now, April 9th. I have 2 brothers actually that had a birthday that followed mine. So it's a lot of days in April. My aunt started off, my cousin is the next day, and I feel like we got 2 days that we skip, and then everybody else, actually old co-workers and everybody. So it's an Aries takeover right now, just for a little bit.
Well, just for a little bit, because my family, we're all Leos. We're a lot of Leos.
Okay.
Dr. Diamond's a Leo. Her husband's a Leo. So,
Okay, the lions.
But I like the energy. I'm not really into the astrology as much. I know what my sign is, but the Leos and Aries. But hey, we like your aura here in this room.
That's it. That is it.
Yeah. So
how you been since the last time I seen you?
Well, of course, life is life, and as you know, things have changed. And as I had said to you in the backstage, pretty much is that your book really was just something that helped to put something in this mix of what the Butterfly Room and birthing. And I thought that it was only befitting to invite you on here. Because
absolutely, I truly appreciate it.
Despite your age, you were able to drop some seeds.
I appreciate it.
And so for anyone who is listening, go to that episode. It's on the couch with Dr. Diamond, and you'll see that episode. But from here,
I appreciate the opportunity. It was an honor.
Yes, most definitely. And this is part 2 to that journey.
Yes. Yes.
So tell me what's been going on, because I don't want to say everything, but I know that you have a lot.
Sheesh. It's never enough, honestly. I know that us humans, we have the capacity to, keep adding on, and especially when you can do something like just thinking it through, seeing it through, speaking it, believing it, achieving it. I always say it, just when the thought come, that seed is planted. If you think on that thought, it become a thing. So, I just been working really hard these last few months and this last year, ever since my book's on, and actually I've been like putting the pedal to the metal. One, since October, I've been laid off from MTV. And
no.
that was no, not at all. That was actually probably one of the best things that happened to me.
Please
you know, I was
share.
asking God, absolutely. Why? I was asking God, to give me a challenge. And that challenge was taking away my 9 to 5 and pushing my back against the wall so hard that I had to push back. And it put me in a place where I went crazy, and I just went super in on my show, and the ideas came, and it was just like I was going through December, I was flushing through November, and it was just like it was the greatest thing ever. Like once I really looked up and not being on emails anymore, not having to answer to people anymore, not having to jump into a software every single day, the routine of things, like it really took me back a little bit. And I was able to really settle in this space that I built around me right now, which me and my daughter call Dreamland. I got clouds everywhere. I've been a big dreamer all my life. I got a mural of like pictures of me over my last 10 years on this wall right here. The 4 films that I directed right here. My board that I constantly write on is dead smack in front of me. And I was able to really sit in this space in my meditation chair. That's my chair right there. So I was able to be in this space and be in my own thoughts and get ultra grateful for what I built up until this point. And being grateful for that opened up a lot of doors since then. I've jumped in. Ever since MTV, I started working at Apple Music. I started venturing and doing other things, and books started selling in bulk. The speaking engagement that I just did on Tuesday came, and it's just it was a aha moment once I really realized gratitude is the attitude above anything. So just getting ultra grateful through your quote unquote downs, your ups, whatever you go through in life. Life just is. I was texting one of my old high school teachers yesterday, and she said it. She was like, I like how you just said life is, because she told me a whole, spiel of how life been for her. And I was just like, life is. Life is. So, and that's a part of the Hermetics that I study. So life just is. And go ahead, Mark. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No problem. Speaking of life is, I had not realized until Toya just brought it up and everything like that you are the age that you are. And I know a lot of times people are not willing to accept youth leadership and everything like that. I'm a big fan of youth leadership and all along those lines, because I know that there can be wisdom among those that are in the 30s or even the 40 set, and even those in the 20 set and everything that. But I just wanted your take on that, because I do know that even sometimes organizationally, folks are dismissing young leadership and everything. I know that the cultural center I work at, I think those young ladies are probably in their 30s and 40s as well, that are now taking on the role of leadership and everything like that. But I just wanted your take on how sometimes young leaders can be dismissed.
I think
you going right into it, Mark. I had a couple things, but you going right in there.
I love that. And my answer to that one is I just recently went back to my old middle school team academy, who truly embedded in my brain, together everyone achieve more, and work hard and be nice and leave a place cleaner than you found it. One thing that I learned back in middle school, going into high school, going into life early on, just me and my perspective, I learned that everyone has their turn.
Right.
I learned very early that everyone has their turn. I was in middle school wanting to be an adult, but observing other adults and saying, wait, I see this person going through that. I don't want to go through that though when I get there. I see this person going through that. I see that person talking to this person like that. I know my turn is coming soon. So I want to be able to talk to people the right way. I want to be able to lead people the right way. I want to be able to articulate myself the right way when it's time to articulate myself. I want to be able to, if I don't get something, how can I go learn something?
I agree with that concept. And I think that's
truly what it is.
But I think that, and I'm going to ask you something, and this is what's been on my spirit when I think about the butterfly room. When I say visual, perspective, a lot of things that you have stated, I use that, what you said in this book. And I have some excerpts that I want to, talk about for folks that need to go purchase this book. But again, for you being in a generation that's behind me, and for you to inspire me as an adult who is a visual person, because I think you're visual, like you said, the
Super
MEC.
visual. If you seen this room, you would say exactly.
As I unfold that in MEC, I'm visual. Explain to the listeners what MEC is.
So MEC is my initials. But I was sitting with one of my friends, one of my friends, Alex. Shout out to Alex. I shout him out every single time that I tell this story. I was sitting with him and he was like, Marlon, your mantra is elevate, motivate, cultivate. He was like, yo, put it in the order of your name. He was like, it's your name, bro. MEC, Marlon Earl Curtis, is motivate, elevate, cultivate. He was like, bro, this is not a sign to you. And it blew me away. And I was just like, wait, bro, nah, that's crazy. But in a nutshell, elevate, motivate, cultivate to me, or motivate, elevate, cultivate, because I have adopted that way of saying it, motivate, elevate, cultivate. I'm here to motivate as many people as I can, inspire as many people as I can, because I learned that the highest human act is to inspire. I'm here to elevate every single room that I talk in, every room that every person that I go to or uplift. I'm here to elevate them. And I'm just here to cultivate as many dope relationships and friendships as I can to be a resourceful human being. So that's what I live and essentially die by at this point in my life. So
thank you for sharing that. And that was an excerpt that I heard at his book signing. I had the pleasure of being there in person, and it was
thank you for coming.
Something that you're welcome. Because from there, I said, we have to water one another. And one of the things that I feel, each one teach one, as something be still and know, is my mantra. And as you say, if you follow the butterfly room every day, there is a mantra, a message, music, and everything. And as a group leader, you need that. So basically what you're doing, you're motivating us based on what your practice is. And sometimes people say you're being too much. Well, guess what? You have to bet on yourself. One of our previous guests, JV artist that I know, saw him bloom. Now I'm watching you bloom. He said, you know what? Progress is a process.
That's it.
So you understand where I'm getting at, listeners? You're younger than us. Where the big mamas at? Some of the folks in the generation are reaching back. Dr. Diamond, I know you know more about that. If you look at as the professional here on this show today, that's what's happening. The big mamas were influential. I had that. Then we had a generation, for me visually watching, it was missing. There was a post that there was a professor that said to his students, 17 years of being a child. After that, he said 70 plus years of being an adult. Don't rush it. You get what I mean? We were a generation of being seen and not heard. But you had a big mama. I saw your family at your book signing. Everyone was there.
Yeah.
So that means that you're an old soul.
Yeah, they showed up and showed out for me at the book signing. It was really dope. I actually still have that full 2-hour clip, but I've been working on a whole lot of things like personal content wise before I released that official book signing. But it's still like sitting on my YouTube right now at this point.
And I didn't share my clip. I said I can't do that. I said I was just a guest. I said once he unleashes it, I can unleash it.
I appreciate it. I do. What type of reads have you guys been in lately? I have a few books here that I would like to suggest.
Well, we know you're going to give us.
y'all know.
I definitely want to hear your books and everything like that. But I had the pleasure of having a lady that came to the Hayti Center, the cultural center that I work at, and she's got some books out and everything like that. And it might be one of your reads because she was a media person that talked about how she was. There was leaks that were going on and there were things that were taking place in her space. And she's actually a professor here in North Carolina where I'm at and everything like that. But I just wanted your take as one that went through MTV around how the industry can be. Because I was very interested in hearing Melissa Harris Perry talk about what she went through when she was at MSNBC and how she basically got kind of railroaded out of the job and everything like that. So she has a book that talks about that experience, and she was there at the center about, I think that was 2 or 3 weeks ago, and everything like that, just sharing some of her experiences, but also some of the wisdom that she even gives to young people, because she's a professor now, I think at A&T, but she's been a professor at a number of universities, including Wake Forest and everything like that, because Maya Angelou was one of her mentors and everything like that. But I just wanted your take on how the industry can be very mean both to African American women, but also African American men as well. So I don't know whether that happened to you with MTV, but she definitely detailed how it went with her.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I definitely had my I had my runarounds with being in being in the corporate space, being with MTV. I was actually by the good graces, and I look at, like I said, gratitude is the attitude. I look at this like, when I got let go, or when we got laid off at MTV, our show was coming to an end. It wasn't like it was just a abrupt cut, but we was told that our show wouldn't be renewed for the following year because MTV was finally I guess dissolving and whatnot. So I look at it like, yo, I go down in history. I'm on the last standing show on MTV. Like, what?
Wow,
this is dope. Like, this is the way I looked at it. And I was just like,
Court Loiter. Remember Court Loiter? I remember him.
It's so just like I'm like, yo, like there was a start and I was a part of the end. And it's just like, come on, man, I'm good. And I guess also, Mark, to your point, I guess I'm not really as moved as a lot of people in my industry because I know what I'm building. And I say I know what I know I'm building. So it's something about having that conviction in what you do on a day-to-day basis. I'm building a show that by the good graces and the universe, in these last few weeks, I acquired my first lawyer. I'm building protection around my brands now. I'm having conversations in bigger rooms. I asked the man upstairs at one point, to put me in bigger rooms, put me in more rooms, and asking you shall receive. So I've been put in bigger rooms and I've been able to have bigger conversations. I'm having bigger conversations. There's things now that I can't even talk about when it comes to my show. Like, that's a different feeling. That's a different, right? It's just crazy. So, and it's not crazy. Let me correct myself. It's not crazy. It just is. It just is. And everything that's happening just is. And I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful to be going at the rate that I'm going. I'm grateful to be learning every single day. I ask God and the universe for wisdom every single day. And if you don't give me anything else, just give me wisdom. And I think I will say that until the day I die, and until the day I leave this earth. Give me wisdom. Give me wisdom because if you give me wisdom, everything else will fall in place. The finances, the decisions that I make, the conversations I have, the people I follow, the people that follow me, give me the wisdom. And that's it. Everything else will fall in place.
Yes, very good. And I'm just looking at, before, because I wanted Dr. Diamond to chime in. But before I get into that, I've subscribed to your weekly signal. And so here it says, yes. So for the signal for April the 6th, 2026, it says this week is about getting it right. It's about getting it out. And perfection looks like standards, but most of the time it's hesitation. Here's the shift. And you go into that. You say clarity comes through action, not before it. Imperfect reps don't hurt your identity. They build it. Every move sharpens the signal. Every release removes friction. Perfection delays alignment because alignment requires movement. There's gratitude here too. Progress already in motion. Versions that taught you something. Distance from where you started. That's where flow begins. Flow comes from iteration. Where are you waiting to get it right instead of letting it get clear?
That's it.
See, you're the builder of aligned vision.
That's it.
Yeah. You see?
That's it. And even to that point, I send those out on Monday. They're on automatic, by the way, for the audience and everybody that know. If you sign up, you'll get an email from me every Monday around 7 a.m. between 7 and 8 a.m. now at this point, because I've realized, and Toya, you've been an early subscriber, you've seen the times change. But what's happening is I'm studying with my analytics, and I'm bringing it to early morning now, because if I can be a positive affirmation early morning to people before they start their morning on Monday morning, okay, cool. Whatever else that come after that it's gonna hit. It's gonna hit. So to that point, everything that was said in Monday's signal followed my own actions this week. Tuesday was my birthday. I turned 32. I spoke on Tuesday. That was my first time speaking in a corporate setting. But I did the thing, and being in that room put me in a bigger room. And from that conversation, I'm having an even bigger conversation on April 20th. So and my part of my team is going to be in that conversation now. And at some point, my lawyer may be in this conversation now. So it's like, as I'm thinking about everything that you just said in that newsletter that went out earlier this week, it's like I'm really living proof of the things that I'm putting out there. And it's like my life is matching the frequency. Every single time is something going out. It's like my life can just relate to, and it flows through that week. So today is Thankful Thursday. So I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful to be here.
And I had to put that there. And this is where I feel that nothing, if God brings you to it, he's going to bring you through it. And I feel, again, and I wanted to ask you something. And excuse me, we're planning something, and it's been on my spirit. I didn't want to put you on the spot. We are planning a conference, and I'm looking for a keynote. And I think you would be the person for that. We're planning a conference for this year. So what I was looking for, I spoke about this, but now guess what? You have time.
Listen, I got
so
time.
Now I have some dates. We're gonna have to talk, but I have to get your approval from you because that's what I'm looking for. And what we're saying with the Butterfly Room experience and everyone in this collaborative is that everyone has their expertise. We are locked in. We are here to heal. We have the PhD, Dr. Diamond here. We have Mark, who actually works in those systems. I'm a mentor. I've been a group leader, ran a drug program in East Orange, New Jersey. So I've seen it all. So now we need free help. Because if they're changing my insurance, and it's crazy not to change a HSA because of the cost of insurance. They're telling me it's a $5 copay for virtual. Guess what? You have to go through their network. So if you have a provider that you're working with for virtual, you have to go through the insurance company. You get it? So they're telling me $5 copay. That's not true, because I called the insurance company, Horizon, it has to be their provider. And it's someone from overseas or whomever for $5 versus whatever the copay is. So we quoted it was 50% increase. Who can afford that? But my job is the bomb, so they're gonna give us some advancement. Okay. So at this particular point, what I'm saying here is we need to take charge. And everything that you say aligns with this show, aligns with this movement. So you can think about it, but if you know now, you can let us know, because we're all going to be in the room. We want you in the room.
I got you. I mean, just let me know dates.
Yes, and then from there, from now we got to be able to bless you with something,
Yeah. I appreciate it. But this is
how it
truly
works.
Appreciate it. Absolutely. Dr.
Diamond, what you have going? I know I see you when she starts writing the stuff down. You know she thinks.
Dr. Diamond writing over there.
Okay. Yeah, I'm always writing. I think it's a habit. It's a habit. I can't help it.
I love it. You have to, though. You have to.
Yes. So Marlon, it was so good to have you on my show, and I hope to have you back, soon too.
Let's do it.
Updates. But it sounds like you have an update, because going from MTV to you were already doing your businesses. So you had all of these things flourishing for you. And then what came to mind for me was growth for you, additional growth. And I think that God does things for a reason. You were there, but it may have stifled some of the things that you wanted to grow towards. So it was time for you to go. And I had a friend of mine many years ago. We were working in a a group home with young ladies. And I said, how do you do this? You know, what kept you here all these years? She, at that point, she was already there about 12, 13, 14 years. And what she told me was, you have to listen to God because God is going to tell you when to move. And that's exactly what happened. So, and that's for all of us. When you hear a voice inside, we have our conscience too, but so does God tell us certain things too. And that's how On the Couch came into play. And I have another, I need to bring it back. My Candid Conversations, that's a woman's group that I had. Okay. And when I tell you, I know we are waiting. I had to get off that couch because it was like, get up, go do this, and don't let fear stop you. So what I'm hearing for you is that, you know, you took that and you said, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna be all right, and I'm gonna let this go because it's letting me go, but it lets you go so you can go and grow.
I'm telling you.
Am I right?
I'm telling that you absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Grow and go.
Absolutely right. I think about a Kendrick verse to a song that I love. Man at the Garden, he said, a close relationship with God whispered to me every time I close my eyes. He said, you deserve it all. It's just like, you know, it gives me chills. I got goosebumps right now. Like it gives me chills when you can relate to something like that. And I'm just like, wow, wait, hold up. Kendrick is, and I knew it, but I've always known it, but I'm just like, oh, Kendrick is tapped in. He's tapped in because I hear the same thing. I feel it. I feel it. It's so real, and it's like it's a knowing. It's just a knowing. So, knowing that you're good through it all, and it's like, what is it? Because what is all? All is all. Everything is all in the all. So it's like, I mean, am I putting too much down now? Because it's really that it just is. It really is. So
we still in know.
I really try not to. Yeah, I try not to put the labels on it no more. I don't. Right. This is not bad. This is not. Oh, this is not bad news. I got. This is
good news.
You're in the fourth quarter.
This is, and even is it good news, Dr. Diamond?
But even bad news can become
so it's like, is it bad? Is it good? And it's like, nah, okay.
Morphing. Marlon, you're morphing.
It's like, that's all it is. It's just, it's all it is for me is, okay, what's next?
What's next?
What's next? What's next? Right. Oh, that happened? Right. Okay, what's next? And my team, they notice about me all, like, when we on set, when we're shooting, when we're in the thick, I don't want to know the problem. I don't want to know who did the problem or whatever. What's next? What are we doing next? Why are we around the issue right now? Who did it? What's going to happen when we find out who did it?
Exactly. So now you wasted time in sitting there trying to figure that out when you can be prospering and moving on and doing what you have to do to address those things later. You know, it's funny because I was talking to my sister today about not allowing things to stress me, right? I said, we don't need to be in a stress mode all the time. You got to know how to move easy because you know what? I'm looking for longevity. I don't know what y'all are thinking, but I want to get up there in late 70s, 80s and know that I got there because I wasn't stressing out or I prematurely leave here because I'm stressing. So guess what? Life can throw all of these different rocks at you because it can. All right. We're born into things. Being black, period. That's stress in itself. Right. I love being black. That I will never change. I don't care what folks is talking about. I don't care. But at the end of the day, it's really about how you move it. So Marlon, you're a good example of how you move. You don't let nothing lay you down. you stand up and you keep the door in because that's what you do. And you know, I admire my son about that because he's 28 years old. And one thing he doesn't take is no for an answer. There are many times people say, no, you can't do that. He goes, yeah, okay. He goes right around. Like, I'm serious. Toya,
he goes,
I know exactly what you mean.
He keeps the door in. He goes, I'm going for it. And what's the worst that can happen? That's what you said, Marlon. What's the worst that can happen? How about we keep it moving and then we'll address that later? You know, so I like that. And Mark, before you get into, because I know you get ready to ask Marlon the question, but I'm gonna ask him a question too, right?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. You go first.
So this is what I would love for the Butterfly Room listeners to hear from you.
Yes.
How do you bet on yourself?
Oh,
how?
My routine.
Tell them about it.
My routine. Betting on myself is, and listen, you like I tell everybody, build a routine. It's not gonna be my routine, but build a routine.
Right.
Build something that forcefully make you become disciplined. So one thing that's a non-negotiable for me, every single day I move. And when I say move, it's I have the rack gym downstairs. I gotta get my blood flowing. I'm doing burpees. My blood is going. I'm draining the lymphatic system. I'm doing all of that stuff that the people, when it's not on Instagram, when I don't want to show Instagram, because I show my routine sometime, and a lot of people are like, yo, you got to show your routine. You got to show everything that you do in your routine. I'm like, that's cool, but I'm in the routine. That's the thing. Right. So whenever you do see me record the routine, it's after I'm done that. I'm not doing that for that. I'm doing it for me. But I know that people request, hey, yo, what do you do? Oh, I meditate. Oh, how do you meditate? I'll do 23 minutes of transcendental meditation every morning. And if I'm lucky, midday, and that's when I'm on fire.
Yes.
If I get it done twice a day. But I'm red light therapy in the morning. On my real days, 3:30 a.m. I'm up. 3:55, I'm up here in front of a red light for about 5 minutes. I sit down, I do 23 minutes of transcendental meditation. Out of my 23 minutes, I pray before I do my meditation. It used to be MVP. And I think I wrote that in my book. It used to be MVP, but I consulted one of my pastor homies. And I'm not super religious, I'm more spiritual, but I talked to one of my pastor homies. And I say that like literally, that's one of my dear friends. And they say, yo, you gotta pray. You have to pray. You pray at the end, but pray before it to set the tone of everything. And I swear, ever since I started doing it, I was like, yo, wait, nah, this is different. Okay, so I pray first. I set the tone. 23 minutes of transcendental meditation. I have a visualization that I have on my phone. It's about 8.5 minutes of my future life. But what's interesting about this visualization that I listen to, that I've been listening to for at least 2.5 years now at this point. Part of that visualization in the morning is literally happening every single morning at this point. Every single morning, Marlon wakes up, give gratitude. He walks up his stairs. He walks past his crystals. My crystals got lights under them, all of that stuff. I sit down, I pray, I do. So it's literally manifesting over time as I'm like listening to it repetitively. But when I say my future self, to let people know the delusional part of Marlon, it's saying things like, Marlon, go check his $5 million stock portfolio. Marlon, midday, go to a chic restaurant with a industry friend to make a plan for On the Set podcast. Marlon, go in such and such midday. Oh, Marlon goes in and has a massage at the end of the day. Then Marlon goes home with his family. He recaps with his wife. He asks his daughter how's school. Then once everybody's settled in, Marlon go back up to his study. Exactly what I'm about to do when I get off this call with y'all. Go back up to his study, give gratitude, learn a little bit more, then go to sleep, reset for the next day. And it's say a few little material things that just add the spark to it for me. Right after that, a more powerful thing that I've been doing more recently. And this is something that I was like, for a minute, I was like, I felt like I was being a gatekeeper. I was like, no, practice what you preach. You hate gatekeepers, don't be a gatekeeper. And this is not, it wasn't more so gatekeeping. It was more so me thinking of that old saying, you know, when people know certain things, they start to prey on your downfall.
Right.
It's sacred to me. I listen to my daughter's voice telling me to stay focused. I listened to my daughter's voice that I recorded months ago, maybe last year, saying, Daddy, you got to stay focused, in that little baby voice. And I listened to her with brown noise for 2.5 minutes. I do all of that damn near every day.
Oh, wow. Speaking
before the entire world wake up.
Right.
Before touching my phone some mornings. I set the tone. I bet on me by doing that first. So by the time my daughter wake up, my wife wake up, I know that I'm working on me for me and my family, but my wife may not be on this journey just yet. So her nerves may be out of whack a little bit. Or my daughter's nerves may be out of whack a little bit in the morning. Or my nerves may be out of whack a little bit in the morning. But I know how to, I feel like I just know how to tame it a little bit better now.
Right.
And when I'm out in the world, nothing bothers me. I'm literally just, I'm seeing what I see.
But that's what it is. It's the vision. It's the vision.
It's the vision.
And I was wondering, Mark, I don't want to interrupt. I just want to just, it's a new question, or you're going to piggyback on that? Because I want to.
I was going to piggyback on that question, but it was along that same line because I had a friend of mine. He's a dear friend.
All right, but can we wait? Can we just pause on before we get to the anecdote? I just want to add to that because you said that.
It wasn't so much of an anecdote. It was a direct question, but go ahead.
Yeah, just thank you, Mark. I appreciate that because you mentioned this on the couch. So now exactly what you say. Thank you, Dr. Diamond, for saying that. But having that tunnel vision, like a horse. Basically, that's what you did. I'm going to speak into that, but that's really what you have to have that tunnel
vision.
Share.
That's it.
And then I'll go to the excerpt for the next part. But go ahead. Thank you, Mark.
Oh, no problem. What I was going to say is I've got a very dear friend. He's a filmmaker. He did the film This Christmas and all along those lines. So many people may know who Ronnie Warner is and everything. He's actually thinking about getting a film school going here in our area, I mean, in North Carolina, even though he lives in California. But he was talking about something that I think you can relate to, Marlon, but I'd love to know your thoughts because he met with some people that I introduced him to that he never knew and everything like that. But he was talking about he felt an alignment with them at the first time he met them and everything like that. So I was wondering how much alignment plays a role in your life and how you're able to recognize alignment and everything like that. Because I think a lot of times people are trying to get aligned and they don't know how to recognize alignment. So when he told me, because these are people that I've just recently met in my circle and everything now, but he said that he felt an alignment with them, and I sometimes feel an alignment with them as well. So I just wondering, from your perspective, how do you recognize people that you should be in alignment with?
Oh, trust me, it's frequency now at this point. It's the frequency that I feel. I know that I emit a certain frequency. And when we talk about we talk about being electromagnetic fields, our heart is the biggest magnet. If you charge your heart with a feeling, that feeling sets off emotion. That emotion then becomes a vibration. Once that vibration is set, whatever frequencies, love, all of the different frequencies that we have, whatever you're in vibratory, a vibratory match for, it comes to you. So with that routine early morning, I'm aligning with what I want and what I only want to see throughout the day. So what's going to happen is, as I interact with new people, as I talk to my team, as I'm building, I feel energy more than anything now. I feel energy. We can be having a full-blown conversation and I can almost sense you're not really in tune with what we're talking about right now. We could be having a full-blown conversation and I'm listening to every single thing that you're saying, and you're telling me you're telling me your motive without even telling me your motive.
Right.
So it's, and when it comes to moving on, listen, I've heard So many people say it, but Gary Vee said it best. You got to be a great firer before you're a great hirer.
Right.
You got to be able to let people go before you can bring people on. You got to be able to, like Tyler Perry said, when you're on the ship, you can't have certain people poking holes on the ship.
Right.
You got to be able to feel that energy. So it's just me vibing high. It's me setting the bar. And it's then the people, the things, the places revealing itself to me. That's literally what it is. Before it was, I'm trying to figure this person out. It'll unfold. It'll unfold.
If I can ask a follow-up question,
yes.
Well, wait a minute, Mark. You trying to take up all the questions now? Can you?
He said I got a follow-up question for that one.
I think you're like, it's a follow-up question. I think you're like
hot. We got time, y'all. We got time. We good. We good.
But we ain't trying to kill you. Yeah, you gotta get the baby
good.
to
We
bed.
good. Not, the baby is asleep. She good. You good.
Okay.
Good.
Because the follow-up question I was going to ask is, how do you deal with those people that are let's be real. I mean, this is the butterfly room and everything like that, and people have to metamorphose and everything like that. So how do you deal with the vampires that are out there? Because even Dr. Diamond knows that there are vampires that are out there.
I call them energy vampires.
Right. How do you deal with those? How do you get rid of them? Because sometimes they're in your space and you can't always get rid of them. So how do you get rid of them if they're in your space?
When you say in your space, you're saying like physically in front of you?
Physically in front of you. They might be in your work environment. They might be in your circle that you can't totally dispatch them and everything like that. So they're in your environments.
One, for me,
Mark is on fire tonight.
No. But I love it. I love it though. But one for me, I feel like there's a feature on our phones nowadays called Do Not Disturb. And that is like my best friend. That I typically try not to pick up my phone before 10 a.m. And that's honestly still pushing it. But before 10 a.m., I don't want anybody throwing off what I just set up that morning. And what I just set up was what we just went through. So at least until 11, 12, all right, then I can pick up the random numbers or if I know it's a family member that usually call me to complain, I'm sorry. This is my time. This is literally my time. And if it's a true emergency, if it's that much urgency behind it, you will keep calling me. And that's just it. And I typically, even with handling people like that, I learned something. I forget what podcast I listened to a long time ago, but they said when somebody is coming to you and, say, matter of fact, real true story. I was talking to somebody that I truly love and hold near and dear to my heart. They called me and they asked me if I talked to a person. I was like, no, I didn't talk to that person. That person then went to tell me everything that this person said, did, whatever. I then said to that person at the end of the call, excuse my French, what the fuck do you want me to do? I said, respectfully. I said, what happened between y'all two? One, this is still 31-year-old Marlon. I said, what happened between y'all two? Y'all been knowing each other longer than I've been born. I said, two, if you're asking me for advice, I'm not giving you advice because I'm not going to ignite any more flames in you that's already there. I said, and three, I would suggest you don't get off the phone with me. I was so real with this person. This is a close family member of mine. I said, I would suggest you don't get off the phone and call somebody else and try to spill it on them and ask them for advice neither. Because I said, you're just going to keep on rippling your day off. We got off the phone that day. We got off the phone that day, Mark.
Because I was laughing for a reason. And then I promise I'm gonna shut up. The reason I was laughing is because
he wasn't finished with his point, Mark.
But I think but what I'm going to say is part of his point because that's why I was laughing.
Go ahead.
I know people saw me laughing and everything like that because my coworker, who is one of my bosses now, this is literally what she wrote to me and everything. And I don't think that she'll mind me sharing this. She said, just an FYI, I do my best to reserve my evening to spend quality time with, I won't say the name of her daughter, but it's the name of her daughter and everything like that. I try to stay away from my phone so I can be present for her, which is basically what you're saying and everything like that. So she was basically telling me that, you know, unless the building is burning down, don't bother to call me at a certain time and everything like that. Because it's not going to be that urgent, and I need to spend time with somebody that is important to me. Her daughter's only like 3 years old and everything like that. So I think
my daughter is 3 years old. So I get it. I can relate. I can relate. My daughter is 3 years old. And that, basically to sum that the rest of that story up, I told him, I said, yo, don't get off the phone and call somebody else. He told me he appreciate me for uplifting him, giving him that wisdom. Mm-hmm. He then called me the next day and said the same exact thing. I just want to say I've been thinking about our conversation since yesterday, and I really appreciate the advice that you gave me, because somebody else my age or somebody else your age would have probably said, you need to do this. You need to say this. That's messed up. That's effed up. This, da, 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 da. And I said, such and such. It's growth. Mm-hmm. I said, it used to be that Marlon that would say, oh, I think you should say this, or I think you should do this. I said, I got my own shit going on that I'm trying to figure out. I said, I can't, like, this, what are we doing this for? For you to be talking to that person in 2 weeks? And for the advice that I gave you to be out the window? Come on, I'm good. Respectfully, leave me out of it. It is ordained by you and God to figure out that situation with that person. And that's
Thank you. Thank you for bringing that up, because this is a common conversation, and we talk about this on the couch and in other platforms, just in general, because right now, look at the status of the government. What's important to you? So when I say that we have a plate, I'm just coming off ACL repair surgery, 6 knee surgery. So when I say to someone, we all have a plate. We need to focus what's on our plate, right? Then if you have other things, and as you age and once you have a productive life, the things that you're going to do don't have time for that. And it's not that we're trying to discredit. It's just that motives is very important. I never really paid attention to that. But as you elevate, things are going to change. And now I know it's the little children. What do they say? You're being weird. So I'm just laughing. What does weird mean? Think about it. These children don't know what we know. When we do things like what you just said, Conan, they say, you're being weird. You're being weird. And I laugh because I mentor. So I said, why do you keep saying weird? Because the behavior that you're exhibiting, because as kids, we were seen, not heard. So now, what am I supposed to do with this? You're igniting a flame. Because guess what? If you do believe, I like this point is that you said you're not religious, but you're spiritual. So you understand what this is.
Absolutely.
My pastor will tell you, if God takes care of the birds, the foxes, everyone has, we're going to be taken care of. So the whole point is you get up every day, you start the day over. But what happens, the world gives us several distractions.
They do. And listen, this is what I can say to that. I can say a lot about the politics and the, all of that good stuff. But honestly, I say the saying all the time, whatever entertains you, trains you. Whatever you tune into, you turn into. And I don't think nobody should, and this is just me respectfully saying this as Marlon in this vessel. I don't think anybody should be in tune with what the government is trying to govern over your mental. So if you think about that word, if you think about why they're in place, if you think about the teams and the sides and the this and the that, if you know, you just know. So the government is here to govern your mental and to make you continuously get charged up emotionally to put out a certain frequency that they feed off. So
why do you have the Amish? Think about the Amish. Why do you think they have their own community?
That's it.
They come out and they make money Thursday, Friday, Saturday, they go back and come back, right? The same thing that you're doing. But because it's a culture, people don't look at that. But I want to get into the meat and potatoes for folks to get this book. And I love this because just to get into this, he goes into his contents. Folks, the link is there. It's listed. He starts out with the introduction. He goes into mindset shift, which Dr. Diamond gave us a great question to that. Then it goes to action and execution. Then it goes into universal laws at play, life lessons from my journey. And when I tell you, I like chapter 13. I'm just going to just dive into that. It's page 53. It says, passion with purpose wins, doing work that truly aligns with you. As we age, after we heard you on the couch, I was blessed by your aunt to invite you to us. So now you're in the butterfly room because you're morphing. I'm going to say you're in the fourth quarter right now, right?
I'm here.
Because you are ahead of yourself as far as your
here.
mental. When you're
Yes,
locked in, you're locked in. So based on what you're saying, you're a little bit above your years. So from there, when you say doing the work that really aligns you, it goes into this. It says, does this align with who I am? Does this bring me closer to my vision? Will this leave an impact beyond just me? Then he goes down and says, your turn, find your alignment. And I think that as the listeners are here, once you are a parent and you do all this, what do you need to do with yourself? I'm trying to figure out what to do. I'm single, whatever the creator, the grand architect has for me. But in the meantime, I'm working on my dash. My dash is what's going to do, because anything else, possessions, I can't take it with me. But that's what I'm working on. But it says, take a moment to reflect and answer these things. What are you passionate about? Why are you here? And I always say to folks who I talk to on the couch, you know what? Is this just a job or this is just a career for you? What is this? I look at outcomes in my capacity at work. So me reading every single report, as Dr. Diamond, hearing folks for 20 something plus years, now you're on the other side. And what I've noticed, this is just my thing. We've heard about the crab syndrome, right? How do crabs get to where they get? For someone who was in Catholic school most of my life, but lived in the hood, I only came outside. I only came outside every now and then. So when I came out every now and then, I really did not know what it was. So now I'm hanging out as an adult. My child is grown. I'm hanging out. I'm really getting to know folks. So I said, okay, I think I'm a late bloomer. So with the alignment, if I'm going out and this doesn't sit me well, then maybe I'm in the wrong room. So I said, okay, because when you go outside, you can be pulled down to the crab syndrome and you got to crawl yourself out. But look what we're doing here. We're reaching down and pulling each other up. We're reaching down and pulling each other up, right? That's really what's stress free. Peace.
That's what it's about.
I want a purpose-driven life that's peaceful, and then I get up every day that I can live past 80 years old. That's it.
That's it.
That's it. That's what we're talking about here. That's the movement. And if you bless us with your presence for our conference, that's what we're going to work on. It's going to be fun, a fun time. And I think that we're going to bet on ourselves in this event.
Oh no, we're gonna bet on self and bet on growth, and honestly, at this point, I met a gentleman that's around the same age as me in the gym, maybe a year and a half ago, and he gave me a new perspective on just life. He's on a metaphysical journey, studying a lot of things, just like me. And when he was talking, I was like, damn, bro, I know I got some tutelage, but bro, like, salute, King. I was like, yo, how old are you? He said, I'm forever, King. And I said, and he said, yo, as you keep knowing, you'll find out. And as I kept going on my journey, ever since he said that to me, I was like, wait, I'm forever. Wait.
Was he a 5%er? Been real back in the day, it was like, no. I just want to know, because in the hood, 5%ers were the ones that spoke that knowledge. Right, Dr. Diamond, they're the ones out there, they spoke that knowledge.
This is my boy, one of my boys in the gym, man. He's super in tune, super tapped in. The books he read, you think I read some books? He reads some books about ancient Egypt and just everything. He's read, every version of the Bible. Is crazy. So when he said that to me, I was just like, wow. And I was just like, yo, I'm using that, bro. Like, I'm like, forgive me respectfully. I appreciate you for putting, embarking that wisdom on me. So I'm going to use that. Like, bro, I'm forever too. I feel it. I feel it. And I feel like the people that feel like forever, and I feel like I'm going exactly where you were going, Toya, with legacy. That's why I'm here. Legacy, impact. I'm here to leave a lasting impact on this entertainment industry that is already kind of out of whack. Yes. I want to show the inspiring part of the entertainment industry. I want to show the people that got it out the mud just like me, and that's really what I'm here to do. That's what I'm called to do at this point. Why I'm building the companies that I'm building. I started my personal brand LLC early this year because of the speaking engagements that I've been getting. I should have been a personal brand, but I just finally woke up and smelled the cough from the layoff and all of that stuff. It was just like, yo, bet on yourself more. You said lasting impact. You said desire plus skill times faith equals success. Bro, I right up under that. I'm so happy and grateful that I've launched multiple successful businesses. I look at that all the time. I look at when my daughter was first born and that sign was like right below her when she was crawling. And I'm looking at her walking today and I'm just like, wait, 1, 2, 3. I'm 4 businesses in, baby. Whoa, hold on. I'm moving fast. You moving fast. I'm like, whoa. And I'm just like, it's just dope. And I'm enjoying it. I'm really when I say it, what it is, you just got to walk it day by day. And my boy that came, one of my best friends came to the book signing last year. When we left, he was like, dog, how you feel? And I was like, bro, I just feel like as I walk the path, the light just shine more.
Yes.
And he was just like, damn, bro, I felt that. I was like, yo, I don't feel like I need to explain that. Like, I don't need to go deeper. It was understood, don't got to be explained. I just feel like I see the light and all I'm doing is walking towards. So whatever you see me doing, it just know it's me walking to the light. When you see me releasing clips, when you see me looking at my camera on Instagram and telling people, yo, bet on yourself, or when you see me in the mirror showing what I do, when I talk to myself and my eyes look like I'm in a different zone, it's because I am. I'm channeling that. This was what I do to get into what I do every day. I charge myself up. I scream to the top of my lungs. I'm crying profusely as I'm doing it. Like it's just, I'm emotionally charged. I'm charging myself up. That's all it is. I'm just getting on the right vibratory and frequency. So that's all it is for me. And like I said, I just want to leave a lasting impact on this industry as a pioneer in what I'm doing when it comes to inspiring from the ground level up.
Motivate, elevate, cultivate. Mark, do you have that clip? We have a clip.
I was going to play that clip. I was going to ask if you wanted me to play that clip. It's a short
clip. I think
I'm super big on nothing is ever mastered. We're mastering. So we're continuously mastering. We're on a road to mastery with the things that we are, I guess, checking off our to-do list or mastering. We're continuously mastering it.
That's it. Whatever you're pursuing, you're going to continuously master it. I heard for the 7 hermetic laws, they said it takes 5 minutes to learn it, but a lifetime to master it. And that's something that you're going to be mastering every single day, no matter what. Go ahead, Brother Mark.
You say that, since you said that, because Thomas Jefferson had a quote that I was going to bring up as well as a Zig Ziglar quote, but both of them were kind of in your line, and I'm curious to hear what these authors are that you are reading. But Thomas Jefferson said, if you want something you have never had, you must be willing to do something that you have never done before, and everything like that. So that was a Thomas Jefferson quote and everything like that. So a lot of folks are thinking about these great masters and great historical figures and everything, but they had some deep quotes that they had as well. So that was the quote from Thomas Jefferson, and all along those lines. So like I said, if you want something you have never had, you must be willing to do something you have never done, is what the actual quote was, and everything like that. And then this other quote that was from Imam Ali: 2 things define you, your patience when you have nothing, and your attitude when you have everything. So that is definitely something that I saw that was a powerful quote and everything like that. And I was trying to get to the Zig Ziglar one. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great, and everything like that. So definitely and I like that quote. I am so happy and grateful now that I am more patient than ever before, and everything like that.
You need those affirmations every day.
This is sitting on my desk.
Well, thank you, Marlon, because you gave me my routine.
Sitting on my desk.
You gave me my routine. I get up, and it was at one point I kept waking up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. It was always between that half-hour period. I said, okay, I'm up. So now every day I post, and I said, I have to do this. That's discipline, because you don't want to lose momentum. As you know, there's a lot going on. Last week I had posted a video. It was saying tired of being nice, but there was this entrepreneur that she spoke. about the different stages about respect and everything. So my god brother has special needs, so he's at the day program. And the reason why I posted this video is because he said, I'm tired of being nice. He has cerebral palsy. So I said to my godmother, what do you mean he's tired of being nice? So what happened was he had placed something on the table, someone moved it and stuff, but for him to not have the ability of what someone else is, for him to say that we need to pay attention. Tired. When a person with a developmental disability says, I'm tired, that speaks about the world. So that means he sits back, he observes everything that's happening. He goes to his program, he'll socialize, come home, even with YouTube. He said the different phones, I wanted to look like mom's on the laptop. So I'm explaining to him the vision. I said, well, you need to, well, why? So do you understand? So that means for his vision, he's seeing the change in America. He's seeing the changes. But when he said, I'm tired of being nice, it made me reflect. You understand? So what is that saying to someone who goes out, does not have what we have on our plate? We all need to wake up. I think about Lawrence Fishburne in the movie School Days at the end. He's yelling, wake up, wake up. So I said, we are all here to create a perspective. And this all this is in our platforms. And I know that on your set, on the set podcast, you talk about different issues. So I feel we all have a service because we're all the voices. And as you just stated, this is just me talking. As you know, right now you're on to your next venture. And I've been speaking about our currency. So by the time you get to Dr. Diamond's show, let me know about this currency, because I'm doing a little research project, because I do my mental research projects as I'm working on my dissertation, because I'm not going to do that because I don't want to pay for it, because I've been, but I'm doing the work.
Why you don't want to pay for it though, Tori?
Because right now they're only giving so much money in loans and things, and my job is telling me, but they have a reimbursement program. But again, I had to become first. I've had my master's since 23. However, I was supposed to be working in the hospital, but that wasn't where I was supposed to be at. I had 2 clinicals. Okay. So that's a whole nother story, but I'm in the mental health field because I had wanted to work in the psych field. However, in the mental health arena, you see a lot, you listen to a lot. But right now, what we need to do is look at the lens of what people are seeing. I had rose-colored glasses on, and today you actually have rose-colored on. So imagine if you lift those up, you can really see clearly.
You see different.
So I think that we need to continue to put out and plant these seeds of motivation, of positivity. When I said I met you and look where we are, you said, Toya, you need to do this. He said, well, what you're doing is some producer work. I had no idea. That was over a year ago. Look where we are now. It was hard. I got through a year of a loss. I don't want to talk about that today, but that was yesterday. But I want to stay positive. But at this point, I knew something was off yesterday, did not know what the day was, but I didn't think I was going to make it from 25 to 26. So for anyone listening to today, we have a guest on here, Marlon Curtis II, was on the Butterfly Room today. However, over a year ago, he was on the couch. Everything that he spoke of, book, but now everything that you have says stays connected, which Mark has your information on the bottom. We want you to join that weekly signal that he has. And then alignment. What's the difference between alignment and the signal? Because I did a couple things.
No, so like I said, with me studying my audience and with the chat bots that I've built out with my authentic self, the signal was just a better title or a better catchphrase than alignment. The signal is literally just, hey, I'm sending you a signal. Like it's a message, like it's like one of those. But alignment, a lot of people will get confused with.
Okay, so you just changed the name then?
Yeah, that's all.
Oh, I just so happened.
So it went from the signal to, from alignment to the signal.
Well, thank you. I didn't even realize. See how God is.
Yeah.
The creator. Because I printed out the 30th because I saw that because the alignment, it said this is the final Monday of quarter 1, but don't treat it like the ending. And that's kind of what I put in my platform.
Yep.
So imagine when you get up, there's a lot of stuff there in our knowledge.
So now it's crazy. You see it right there. I literally did it going into the next quarter. So that first email that you got on the 6th was now the new signal. So it's literally like I planned it that way to let it flow. And like I said, they're coming out for the rest of the year every Monday. So they're already set in stone. That's something that I would suggest too. If you have like a newsletter or something that you're doing, if you can get it squared away and schedule them for the rest of the year, just go ahead so you can have that momentum so it can consistently go out.
Well, then that'll work on this other one because I'm trying to give my niece a job. So I'm going to give her that because I write the newsletters for my job. Nice. And you understand a lot of things are repetition. Nice. However, when you're betting on yourself, you're taking the things, your skills and abilities, and you're bringing them to oneself.
That's
right,
it.
Dr. Diamond? I know she knows that you're working and now individually you bet on yourself.
That's it.
Well, that's what alignment is. Alignment is about the personal, the self, the mind, body, spirit. So that's what alignment is. So when you convert it over to the signal, that makes more sense because you're putting it out to others when you're generating the energy back and forth. Exactly. So Mom, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that would be right.
That is it. That is it. You said it spot on.
Look at these great minds in 4 circles here. I see Jahari's window up here. I'm the what I know, and then Dr. Diamond is the unknown. Isn't that appropriate? Look at that, Mark. Look at that. Right?
Yeah, very appropriate.
Dr. Diamond, Jahari's window. You're the unknown. Isn't it? Love it.
Like I said, just try to bring different knowledge and everything like that. By the way, Marlon, since they were getting on my case earlier and everything like that, I don't know what your Wednesdays are like and all along those lines, but to answer the question that Toya answered earlier, the Online Dinner Party is my show that is every Wednesday. It has got probably close to 200 episodes and everything like that, but it is a show that I do for Pod TV, which is the network that Dr. Diamond and now Toya are part of as well. But it is the idea and the way that I created the show is I remember when my parents used to play Bid Whiz and everything like that when they were together and everything like that, and they would invite family friends over, and then I've had family that have lived in like where I live now, which is an apartment, but they've lived in homes and they've had dinner parties. So I invite people that I know and people that I don't know. Like I had today a gentleman that was on that was in the OJ universe. He was actually Anna Nicole Smith's boyfriend before and right after OJ and everything like that. So he was one of my guests on, along with a gentleman that wrote a book about Judy Tanada, who is the love goddess and everything like that. So I have people from the creative world, authors and other folks. I even had a artist on that was a brother that lives in Atlanta and was an Olympic artist and also did some artwork for the World Cup and everything. But I invite anywhere from 2 to 5 people to the dinner party, and we just kind of like kick it. And I like it when the guests kind of like in this show wind up talking to each other and learning from each other. And at the end of the show, I give every guest an opportunity, because I do think that the world is full of too much turmoil, to give a positive message, whatever that positive message is. Because I figure the more positivity we spread, the better we can make this a better world and everything like that. So the Online Dinner Party is created in that kind of format. So like I said, the guests may be from Australia. They may be coming to look at a young lady from Australia that ironically was in to Aphrodisiacs and other things like that. So they may be coming from Australia, they may be coming from California, they may be coming from my home state of New York, North Carolina, they may be coming from New York or other places as well. So they are a variety of guests. I think the most I've had has been 6 to 8 and everything like that. But I love it when they dialogue with each other and everything like that, because it creates some interesting storylines and everything.
All right, well, I'm free. I'll wait for my invitation. So
all 3 of you are invited on next Wednesday. I've got some guests lined up for the 15th, but I will send y'all an invitation.
Yeah, whenever you're free. He got his calendar.
It's 4 to 6. It's 4 to 6 on Friday, because it's right before I do Follow the Brand, which is a brand new show now out of Utah, even though the gentleman was out of Florida. He was in Orlando, but he moved back home to Utah. And not Utah, Omaha. He's in Omaha and everything like that. But definitely, he does a branding show and everything like that. And then there's a show that Sharon does right after me and everything like that. But my show is roughly about 2 hours. Sometimes if other shows are not going on, it may go a little bit longer. But it's about 2 hours, and it's just people sharing their insights. And the other thing that's very much similar to a dinner party, and I even tell my guests this, is that if they've got other things on their schedule, it's an in and out kind of show as well. So if people have like a a seminar that they're doing. They got a lecture they're doing. Maybe they're a professor and everything like that. Only thing that I ask is that they tell me that they're leaving so that I can ask that question, which is how they can be contacted and their message of positivity. But that's the only requirement. So if there are schedule conflicts within that 2 hours, I work within that as well. So it's a free-flowing conversation in that sense. So like you said, Marlon, if you were able to only give me 30 minutes, I'd be like having you at the beginning, and then I would tell you, if you got other things to do, more power to you, and let you go and maintain the rest of the conversation with the rest of the folks.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mark, for sharing that, because I want us to have like a collective of all the information so we can, post that as we build this platform. But I do see that one thing, you have work one-on-one, book a call one-on-one. So that's something new to your
that is something that, yes. And I like, surprisingly, for real, honestly, surprisingly to me, that saying, we take for granted what comes free to us, but we pay attention to what we pay for, is really a thing. And I've noticed it just even in my personal growth journey, in the past 7 years before, like right before COVID. So 6-7 years, I've invested my own personal money, maybe 25, 30 grand into my own personal growth, and just, mentors and programs and courses and webinars, and, to keep leveling up. Right. And they all said the same thing. Just make an offer. Just make an offer. If you're a speaker, if you wrote a book, people want to talk. People want to know the way or the roadmap, or especially if you're a person that, essentially have one. If you have a framework or a roadmap, sell it. And I was just like, nah, nobody want to talk to me. Like, I'm just, but
humble.
ever since my book, everybody has been like, yo, do you do calls? Do you do this? Do you do that? And I'm just like, yeah, I do calls, but I don't got like and it took this one client I think I want to say right after my book signing last year. It took this one client that I always see at a coffee shop. I saw, she's like, yo, Marlon, you have been on fire. I saw that I missed your book signing, yada, yada, yada. She said, I want to chat with you. She was like, because I'm trying to do this and do this and do this. I was like, all right, slow down. Let's back up. What is it that and she was like, listen, I just want to book a call with you. Let me know, invoice me. And I was like, nah.
So that's the number you provided there? That's the number?
No. Right. So I said, don't worry about it. She was like, Marlon, she said, you are a light and I'm paying you for your time. And she said, if you don't have a link for people to pay for your time, you need to activate. And I swear to you, I've had a link that had my calls, like, where you can book me on, I think it's Tuesdays and Fridays that I have my open blocks, but I had it already placed. I just didn't publish it. So when she said it to me that day, I was like, yo, I set this up months ago. Just press go.
Manifestation.
And I pressed go. She paid me the $197 to talk with me. She left that conversation and was like, yo, what you just showed me with AI, just mindset, books that I gave her, just the laws of the universe and how she can apply it, giving her, yo, give me a scenario. All right, go through your day to day. Okay, stop right there. No. You see what you just said right there? You see what you just did right there? I need you to stop doing that. So I evaluate that way. And I essentially just rip you apart while we're on the phone. It's just like, yo, all right, what is it you're trying to do? Okay, cool. You trying to do that? All right, what's stopping you right now? What do you feel like is stopping you right now? I ask everybody that. What do you feel like is stopping you right now? I'm a self-better.
Most of the time, it's yourself.
I'm a self-better. I can tell you more than likely it's going to be yourself. So you know what I'm about to tell you next, right? Mm-hmm. And it literally sometimes just take somebody getting on the call to just say, yo, I believed, I had faith, I believed. I had more faith. I walked by what they say.
Walk
Faith,
by
not
faith,
sight.
not by sight. Yes.
And Toya, even going back to what you said earlier, when you was like taking it off and seeing clearly.
Yes.
Even taking this off, this is an illusion. This is an illusion. Us seeing what we see every single day is a projection loop. It's a projection loop. So what I see, I don't even believe anymore. I really, truly don't believe.
Yes. And you know, and it's funny that you say that. I just had this conversation with one of my friends today, and it started with the plate. She said, you know, I said, no, I'm in a good space because people worry. But when you're going through surgery and you have to depend on people, it's a point of ADLs, activities of daily living. And I'm not going to go on a tangent. I said, but I don't have time for that because I have to heal. I have to walk. I have to do this. I have to do that. There's only a certain amount of time that the government gives you with the insurance. I go back to the doctor. I'm only a month out. So do you understand? So how do I have time for that conversation that you just said? Someone called to dump that on there. Dr. Diamond gets me sometimes. I'll have a conversation with my Leo sister. But this is the things that we need to look at. It's not being arrogant. But I always say, and I said to my clients in the women's therapy, I said, you all are here once a week to work with me. Your children need you. The goal here is to finish your session. When you don't come here, you have a dirty urine, you miss, guess what happens? Now I have to start the clock all over again. Do you understand? So I said, when people come in, let me know if you're not going to be clean. You know why? Because they're expecting that. So if they're, and I can keep that. The point is the assessment was done and I leave it like that. Then from there, I give the urines. And then I had to gain that trust. So when I tell you I was in the trenches, seriously, I never had my staff do anything I couldn't do. And then the other thing, even monitor urines. There was someone that I knew that dated someone who was a user, but that person only used marijuana. And I couldn't disclose. I said, I took the urines. Oh, that person did that. That's not true. Just because someone is married to someone doesn't mean that's their reality. So do you understand the distinction? You know, sometimes you're the mirror. We can go on and on. But right now, what we're saying to you, you morphed. So that's why you're a guest here. And it's literally not knowing what your situation was, but now you're becoming. It's the year of manifestation. That's what the pastors are saying. So anything that you put your mind to it, be still and know. How you say gratitude is an attitude. Be grateful that you woke up. Be grateful now that you have all these things on your Vita. And now look at all of this. Thank you for sharing.
You have to be, you have to be in order to become. You got to understand that. Be,
and that's what the butterfly room become.
That's it.
And this is some of the things you've got going on. So I did put that up on the screen and everything like that, so they can see how to stay connected with you and all along those lines and all in that space. I want to come back to something that I said earlier with Melissa Harris Perry, and I want to hear your thoughts around this because I think this is a very powerful quote that she had and all along those lines, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. So she said, so part of it is we have to break through our kind of private idea that kids belong to their parents or kids belong to their families and recognize that kids belong to whole communities and everything like that. So I just wanted your take on that because that's kind of like that notion, which I'm a big fan of. It takes a village to raise a child and everything like that. So I'm not knocking the parents because parents are very important. I don't have any kids of my own, but I know that my brother is raising my nephews and I know some friends that have got kids of their own, but I am a big fan of the notion of it taking a village. And I think that's where Melissa Harris Perry was going. And I know that she's got kids of her own as well, but I just wanted your take on that quote that she had and everything like that.
I think in layman's terms, in a nutshell, everything is connected. All is all in the all. Everything is energy. So when we talk about the village, when we talk about the people that was able to, you know, touch me on my journey, I was just talking to my little cousin whose birthday was yesterday, the day after mine, and he asked me, "Yo, cuz, like, you know, what you doing for your birthday?" And I was like, you know, cuz, I'm honestly out of that era of doing the big things for my birthday. I said, I know you remember my 28th birthday was the last birthday that I celebrated on a much larger scale. And I said, I know you probably remember. And I said, I know you probably don't even know, to be honest, why I intentionally made that the last time that I celebrated me. But it was because it was the year that my daughter was being born. And it was because it was the year that I wanted to bring the men that has shaped me to the man that I am today. I'm talking high school principal. I'm talking high school first mentor. I'm talking uncles that have shaped me. I'm talking teachers that have shaped me. I called all of them for my 28th birthday, and we all went up to Montclair at the M Hotel on the rooftop, and it was an amazing event. And I told them I want everybody to dress up, Black excellence.
Yes.
And I was just like, I made an announcement to those gentlemen, like, yo, this is probably going to be the last time that I do something of this scale, but I wanted to bring everybody together and thank them. The energy that made me who I am today. And right now I'm just acknowledging, and I said, I'm just speaking from back then. I was saying right now, I'm just acknowledging the fact that my daughter is coming. It's about her now. And the energy needs to go to her now. I'm good. I can keep learning. I can keep asking God for wisdom, but I need the positive energy that's around. And the ones that it's an allowance for me at this point. I don't allow certain energy around my daughter. I don't allow it. And I'm just big. I'm just that big on energy. That's it. So it's like, it's energy for me, Mark. It's energy. It's literally, it's just energy. And if the energy is positive, let's do it. But if the energy is, let's not do it. And you can go somewhere else with that energy, respectfully. And I know it takes time for some people, but when that time comes, more power to that person, switching from negative to positive. So
turn that frown upside down. That's what we tell the kids in daycare. Turn that frown upside down.
That's it. Is the cup half empty or half full?
Yes.
So
Optimism or pessimism.
That's it. That's it.
And I'm an optimistic person. And that's just, again, that's why you're here today. And everything that unfolded, this is even better than I expected. But I always say that if God brings you to it, he'll bring you through it. I've learned that from one of the ladies from my church. And basically what you experienced was that. I was not expecting, when I did the follow-up today, end up doing the audible to make sure that we're on time. And you see how this all works out. In the week that you had was platinum. I'm going to say that. You had a birthday.
The week that I had was extraordinary. And I said it on Monday. I said it on Monday. I said, as soon as I woke up, literally, if you can get to a point where the moment you open your eyes, the first thing you think and say is thank you.
Yes, I do that.
That's a different life.
Yes.
That's a different life. I said, thank you, God. I'm going to have an extraordinary week this week. And Tuesday, my birthday, took it to another level, like out of this world level. The conversation I had today leading up to this conversation was legendary that I had. And I'm saying legendary, like, because legendary. I've never been able to say I had a dope conversation with my lawyer today. And as a Black man in America, not my criminal defense lawyer.
Yes. Amen.
Amen.
So it's so much energy and power flowing through me right now. And it's just, I want to emit it, and I want to touch as many people as I can to inspire them and tell them and teach them. And when I say teach, I say that lightly because I'm a student just passing my notes. So when I'm sharing those notes, it's just, I'm just trying to be a light. And listen, I've been down this road. This happened for me this way. It may not happen for you this way, but I just want to give you my perspective and let you know that this is what happened for me. This is my story. What's your story? And that's the thing I ask everybody. Kevin Hart said it. What's your story? What's your story?
We all have a story.
Well, you said it. That name and then that dash. That dash is what creates your story until you put the period. So,
as we wrap up, as we download to close out the show. We downloading all this information. I had to. That's where it was coming. I couldn't say in because I'm downloading everything that you say today. And as the young king, because I know your aunt said the king, and the words of your village, king, queen, and that's what you were raised in. So now you are no longer the prince. You're the king. You have your princess who will be a queen one day. And as I look, before we get into our departing words, the closing message that I looked at in your book, page 110, it says, There is no strength without struggle, no advancement without adversity, no destiny without difficulty. We got to go through something to get to something. Myron Golden. Explain to us and the listeners of the Butterfly Room, why was that in your closing message? I get it, but we want to hear from you.
Man, listen. What's your story? What's your story? And I hear a lot about the most glorious stories is the people that went through the hardest times. Went through the hardest times. You think about that for real. Some of the people that went through some of the hardest times are some of the people talking how they speak today. There's a list of people that we can go through and we can tell their story because they put their story out there. And I've been up, I've been down, I've been up, I've been down. And that was me not practicing the law of polarity. But I've been up and I've been down, I've been up and I've been down. But I realized every up and every down, I still had belief.
Mm-hmm.
I still had belief. And that's one book that I actually just recently got, an audio book that I was looking at or listening to, is the 38 letters from John D. Rockefeller to his son.
Mm.
We all know about John D. Rockefeller, but in those 38 letters and in that audio, those 38 letters, he literally just in between the lines, I feel like he kept telling his son, just believe, just believe. Mm-hmm. On the hardest days, believe. When the opponent think that they got you, just believe. When the competition has your back against the wall, just believe. Mm-hmm. And conquer. Conquer and believe was a word that came up the most in that book. Conquer and believe. If you can believe, you can conquer. So belief through my story is what got me here. And that is why I said you have to go through something to get to something. Nothing happens to you, it happens for you. MTV laying me off and my coworkers was for me. Didn't happen to me. Mm-hmm. And even if it was an abrupt, oh, we got to let everybody go, it happened for me. It's how I look at it. It's how we look at our situations.
Yes.
And it's your belief. It's your faith and it's your belief in what you do. So that is why I closed it out, because I closed it out that way, because people have to know that you have to go through something. You have to go through obstacle. You are going to fail. Okay. And if you get it on the first try, just know a down is coming. What goes up must come down. So we're all going to go through it.
Yes.
What's the story that you can tell after you go through it, though?
Thank you.
And Myron Golden is a gentleman that I will be hiring as a mentor eventually. And I'm just saying this on camera because his fee is like all the way up there. But we will be getting Myron Golden as a mentor one day. I'm just saying.
Yes, thank you. And I know we have any other last comments, because I know it's getting late. Any last comments, Dr. Diamond and Mark, before we do our closing words?
I don't have any more comments. So think you did very well, of course. Good job.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Yes, you're the easiest guest that I have seen, because again, you planted seeds with us and you're here and you're going to continue to bloom. And as this wasn't a mistake. We do have an option of doing a pre-recording for tomorrow, which now it made sure that everything worked out. And I feel that everything was in alignment. And Absolutely. That's something that I'm also looking at. I did a prayer removal some time ago. And from there, exactly, waking up in the morning, gratitude. Now I'm going to be saying your mantra, gratitude is an attitude, because we need those things, positivity. Because again, that call, and it's just ironic that you spoke about that, because I just had a conversation not too long about that. What do you do with dissension? When you're speaking to someone, I know I do a lot of conversations at work, you know, have to do risk cause analysis. But the main thing is take the person's face and name away. It's the action. It's ABC, right? With kids. When I was working in daycare earlier on, what happened? So-and-so did the milk. Who was there? ABC. What happened? We were little kids. Who got in trouble? Y'all all gonna get in trouble. Remember, that was a tactic in the Black and brown community. Everybody in trouble. So guess if everybody in trouble, I don't want to be in trouble. I'm like, no, I don't want to be on punishment. I don't want to lose that. And that was the attitude. But then now we're all brats in this world. We're all brats. So that's why we have dysfunction and disorganization and everything. And we can go off on a tangent. But here today, we want the Butterfly Room to know who Marlon E. Curtis II is. Get your 34-1 reasons. Mark, you didn't say anything before I go into this tangent, because
no problem and everything like that. I was just going to say that Marlon, if you get a chance, there's a book that my grandmother had when she was having that library in Raleigh that she helped start and everything along those lines. And it was a book because these two authors stopped by her house and everything during the Harlem Renaissance and everything like that. But if you get a chance to read the book of the letters between Langston Hughes and Arnold Bontemps. Langston Hughes, of course, was an author. Arnold Bontemps was a poet and everything like that. But you learn some things in the book that might surprise you, because in the book you find that this is the time that baseball season is starting, and Langston Hughes apparently was fond of the game of baseball, and Bontemps hated the cold. So even though he might have been from the Northeast, he was not a big fan of the cold, and both men were vain about their weight and everything like that. So yes, it's not just women. Men can get vain about their weight as well and everything like that. And these were the sons of middle class turned artists and everything like that. But they were definitely middle class individuals that went on to fame and fortune. Langston more than Arnold, but both of them had their own shot at fame and everything along those lines. So I agree with you that, you know, we all have our ups and our downs, and if you achieve greatness, you might have a time that you fall down, and if those, you just have to pick yourself back up and all along those lines. So that's one of the things that I say, is that we all will have our ups and downs, and sometimes you may get to the top of the mountain and you may even fall down from the top of the mountain, but you can always try to climb back, because as long as we're living, we've got a chance to better ourselves and all along those lines. And I'm just going to tease y'all just really quickly, in addition to the book and everything, because y'all were talking about that Aries and Leo energy and everything like that. Don't leave us Cancers, brothers and sisters, out and everything like that, because us Cancers have a little bit of love as well as July and June folks and everything in that space. So got to give a shout out to the Cancer folks as well, representing the Cancer brothers, and definitely there's some Cancer sisters out there as well. So
I love all astrology.
Those Cancers also.
I love all astrology. I love all horoscopes.
Okay, as we wrap up, I know we know it's customary to do our parting words, but I just want to thank you again, Marlon, for blessing us this week. And now I feel part of your history of your 32nd chapter of life as you begin that. And everything that is happening was happening for a reason. I believe that in my church, Second Baptist Church of Metuchen. We're online if you want to check us out. Yes, and this past Sunday we talked about, it was Resurrection Sunday, and it was like there is evidence. So you understand where I'm getting at. So this week started off with me in a message of there is evidence. So if you have time, just check us out. We're on YouTube and Facebook. But the whole point here is this week started with a purpose, with everything. Just so happens I have my calendar. But the way you explained it, how it unfolded, this is a mark in your legacy. I really believe that. And right now, when you're speaking to the community and we're trying to grow, the Butterfly Room is for that. Is for morphing, a place for healing, resources. And now for anyone that's listening, connect at marlonecurtis2.com. He is opening himself up here, young entrepreneur, producer. And as you hear this, follow him. He has a newsletter. It's going to explain everything.
It does. It truly does every single week.
Yes,
it's a rinse and repeat format.
Some excerpts today. So it's free.
Free knowledge.
So Marlon, what are your closing words? Well, actually, we're going to start at the bottom. Mark, we're gonna start over here with Mark. What are your parting words so we can get to Marlon? We're gonna just change gears a little bit. Thank you.
No problem. Like I said before, this has been a great show. Marlon has given some great insight and everything like that. So I've certainly enjoyed having him on the Butterfly Room, which you always have amazing guests, just like Dr. Diamond does as well. And hopefully he'll be joining the online dinner party in the near future, whether that's the 15th, or whether that's the 22nd, or whether that's later on in this month, or whether that's in May or something like that. But I'll definitely send him some invitations and he can tell me when he's available and all along those lines. So hopefully we'll be seeing him on the online dinner party as well on one of these Wednesdays and all in that space. So we'll definitely
be there one of those days. Definitely be there one of those days. That's my word. I'll be there one of those days.
Sounds good. I'll definitely look forward to it and having a continuation of these great conversations, because you always bring great insight. And I'm one of those people that believes that age is only, I know there's a lot of people talk about this even in the dating world, but I am a believer that age ain't nothing but a number, and you can have a lot of wisdom whether you are 32 or not. Because I know that even when I was a youngster in my 30s and 40s, they used to call me an old soul and everything like that. So I might be in my 60s now, but I remember being called an old soul even when I was in my 30s and all along those lines. So I do believe in that notion of having an old soul in that space. Now, last thing that I was going to say is I can relate to your birthday party. And the last time that I had a big birthday party was actually almost a decade or so ago, when I hit the big 0, and it was actually me letting somebody else create the party for me, because I probably would have done it differently if I had been planning my own party. So the next milestone one might be 65, and maybe I'll get a chance to plan my own. So that'll be not this year, but the following year and everything.
Blessings. Like that. Blessings, brother.
Yes. The Diamond.
Okay, I'm up on deck. Of course, I always learn something from you as well, which is really good. I agree with Mark. Age is nothing but a number. I think when you have wisdom like that, you've been here before. It's not just you coming, from where you, as we born, I feel like we do come here again. So your wisdom is because of that reason. You also are providing information to let people know, hey, learn to move out of your own way. Don't just stay complacent in one area, because you become conditioned and comfortable to it. So, Marlon is a good example of how you can navigate through things and don't let it deter you or stop you. So that's good. And that's something that I'm learning from you also, that we all need to pursue what we love. Go after it, and don't be afraid, and just move forward. So I think you're an inspiration for anyone that is trying to aspire to go forward in life, whatever they plan to do, start a new career over, or embark on, or grow where they are. So thank you for who you are and what you bring to the table.
I truly appreciate it. Thank you for those words. Thank you for those words. And I guess I can really just end it off with, like Dr. Diamond said, you have to be immensely comfortable with being uncomfortable. I've put myself in so many uncomfortable situations in life where it made me get comfortable. And I rinse and repeat it every single time. And Mark said something earlier with, I believe, I forgot which president it was you said, Mark, but they said, you have to do something. And I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't have built a clothing brand. I never knew anything about a clothing brand, but I built one. I started a podcast, knew nothing about show running, but I started it. I'm building a foundation to give back, giving more than I can receive. I knew nothing about nonprofit space, but I'm doing it.
I got you.
That's what it is for me. It's just do the hard things. And if I can also challenge anybody, push yourself physically, because if you can push yourself physically, the mental things, because that's literally what it is. When you're physically pushing yourself, you're pushing your mental at the same time. So something I'm doing in a few weeks, on the 25th, I'm doing my 3rd Spartan race. First year I did a 5K. Last year I did a 10K. This year I'm doing a 20K. I think a 20K or 21K, 20K, which is 13 miles. Never ran 13 miles in my life. But I see myself cross the finish line in my visualization. And that's exactly what I did the first 2 times. Actually, last year, if I want to leave on this note, talk about manifesting. Early that morning on April, I'm just trying to find this journal. April of last year, I wrote in my small journal before my race. Here's my journal, the 5-minute journal. The 5-minute journal is literally, it asks you, what are you grateful for? 3 lines. What would make today great? That's 3 lines. Then a daily affirmation that you can come up with yourself. The end of the night, you write 3 highlights of the day and what you learned that day. So I'm gonna go back to 427 last year, 2025. What am I grateful for? My 2 feet to use at this race, my eyes to see the path, my will to go alone. Because everybody been saying, yo, go to team. No, I'm gonna do this alone. I'm good. I just want to push myself. What would be great? Finishing my race in under 3 hours and 30 minutes.
Wow.
And that's what really stuck out to me, because when I wrote my highlight of the day, I finished my Spartan race at 3 hours and 11 minutes. And it was almost at the 3:30 mark. So I was just like, just having faith and believing in yourself that whatever you want to do, if you think it, if you speak it, if you think it, and if you have the gall to speak it and you believe it, you can achieve it. And that's just it. And those are my final words. If you can think it, you can say it, you can believe it, I promise you can achieve it. And that's just words from me living it every single day.
Thank you so much, Marlon, for applying the clincher for today in our talk.
Absolutely.
I'm a visual person. And now by you explaining to how it unfolded, I know we got the message. We initially was going to change the date of the show. But I got the producer over there, Mr. Mark Lee, said we can do pre-recordings.
Yep.
Look how everything worked out. I believed it. I saw it. I have visions as well. And anyone that's listening, you may have had something that tugged at you. So my closing words are this. I wrote some notes at his book signing. So you don't even know the notes that I wrote. But I thought that now, as I'm sitting here, I was inspired to open up the back of the book. So I'm going to close this show with this because I knew you were going to come. You said to bet on myself. So now this is closing this. You can come back anytime, whenever you want to come back. And hopefully we're here every other Friday at 8. Because whenever you're inspired, as you just stated, you drop something. This is history now, right? So what you said there, you said, elevate every room you're in. That was your mantra. Then one thing that stuck, it says, ask and you shall receive. Do you truly believe? Lesson in every loss. Those are 3 things that stood out. I have a lot, but as of today, me mentioning this in my parting words is, if God brings you to it, he will bring you to it, because everything that we said and unfolded, it started over 12 months ago. Now it manifested. I do a lot of journaling. So thank you, because that's a tool that is mentioned on the Butterfly Room. You have to journal, because sometimes you can't believe what you've done until you read it. Your mind was there. You were inspired by something. And a lot of times, like I say, as little girls, we dream with our Barbies and things. Men, you have your G.I. Joes. That's what it was at my time. But our meditation time was different. For women, we were pretty and pink. Men were more destructive or whatever it was. However, the men who have minds like yours, they were around small, smart women and men who were visionaries. And that's what I know, that was my background. But however, when you're in the wrong room or you're in a situation that's going to shrink you, it's because you have potential. But however, you have to be hungry and tapped in. So I thank you today for blessing us again in this with us here, but in a different way. So as I say, the Butterfly Room is to morph. You are in the 4th quarter. There's 4 stages of the butterfly morphing. So today, you introduced us to the world on this side. And hopefully, if everything works out, we will be seeing you at the latter part of this year, because now you have time. So make sure you email us the dates. And I want to thank you again for blessing us in the Butterfly Room. And if for anyone that's going to be listening to the playback, as you can see, how you can get in contact with Marlon E. Curtis II. And as you see, he is becoming. So now you want to get to meet him while he's up close and personal, because I see a lot of good things coming for this king. And we thank you again. And until next time, we see you in 2 weeks at 8. Have a blessed night.
Yeah, that's it, y'all. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Keep striving and thriving.
I will. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You found a quiet corner of your mind, a shelf where all the broken things were piled. The stories told in whispers and in scars brought you here beneath these waiting stars. Not for a fix or just to soothe the ache, but for the chance that something new could break. So let the silence hold you like a seam where every thread of hope begins to gleam. This is the in-between. Welcome to the Butterfly Room, where healing's not an end, it is a tune. You learn to hum in gentle afternoons. Transformation blooms from a cocoon of questions you'll be led to see the colors waiting in the thread. Welcome to the Butterfly Room. We'll hold the lens up to the hidden part, the dormant art that's beating in your heart. We'll map the change, the subtle steady turn, the lessons that the aftermath can learn. Not to erase the lines that make your map, but to unfold the wings and cross the gap and watch the old shell fragile drift away, making space for the new light of day. In this alchemical space, welcome to the Butterfly Room, where healing's not an end, it is a tune. You learn to hum in gentler afternoons. Transformation blooms from a cocoon of questions you'll be led to see the